Hi, it's Beth with your little bit of Beth for today. Today I want to talk about one of the very important mantras that's part of the Navigating Challenging Dialogue work, but it's also part of my personal life and my personal experience, and that's where it's grown out of. And I think there may be something in here that could be helpful for you. We'll see. Recently, as in this week, in a lot of my executive coaching work, this theme has occurred over and over again. And it is around topics that people are really hot about. They're triggered by something. One was somebody on their team's behavior was just annoying them to no end, like fingernails on the chalkboard. Another one was a topic that somebody was super hot about taking up with their boss around some decisions that had been made and some behaviors associated with the pattern of that decision making. And then there was another one which I can't quite put my finger on. But in the moment, in the session prior, there's a lot of people who I work with on a monthly basis. So twice a month we have a coaching session. And so there's a gap in between. There's time, there's space. So we have the session. They talk about the topic. I take a few notes on it, and I write it down. Then they come for the next session. And so I like to begin the session by talking about their reflection from the last time, what it was in these particular situations, what it was they were hot about, and what action steps they were thinking they were going to take. But in all three of those situations, when I brought us back to that, what all three of them said was, yeah, we talked about it. I processed it out. I came up with some action steps that I thought were going to happen, but then over time, I realized in one situation, someone else brought the topic up with the boss, and so she didn't even have to step into it. Another time, the person just decided over time that it was going to be something she was going to let ride out. It wasn't even within her circle of influence what she was responsible for managing or dealing with. And so she realized, I can let that one go. I don't even have to go there. And so that brings me to the mantra, which is grace is in the space. Frequently events happen, we get triggered, right? So triggering used to be the thing that put us into fight or flight when the saber-toothed tiger was going to eat our baby or threaten our family or ourselves, right? And so on a DNA level, in a physiological level, we go into fight or flight because we need to take action or we need to get really small and pull away to protect our resources, our livelihood, our self, right? Our existence. But now we've evolved to the point where we've got some workarounds for the saber-toothed tiger thing. Like wild animals are not frequently going to take away our life, our family, our security. And so now instead, what triggers us, because we still have the mechanism, we still have the physiology, what triggers us are things that threaten our values, our beliefs, our sense of self, our reputation, our financial security, our vision of what we believe our future should look like, our vision of what our personal success should look like. Those things are now the things that put us into that fight or flight mode. So grace is in the space. What that means is you get to make the decision to put space between the thing that triggers you, the thing that brings up those physiological feelings in your system, the thoughts to immediately take action to either defend yourself, attack the other person, disconnect and shut down, or you get to breathe. You get to reflect. You get to check in with your self-awareness and identify, ooh, this emotional reaction is coming up in me. What is going to be the impact on myself, and what is going to be the impact on those around me? Is this really my issue? Is this really my business? Is this a place I need to get involved in? Or is this an opportunity for the other person to experience their own growth and development? So one of the scenarios that was shared with me was around conflict two other staff people were having. And for some reason, this person really felt strongly that she needed to get in the middle and fix for them what they were dealing with. It didn't have anything to do with her. It was their journey. It was their ability to fix it. But she was so hooked into what she thought each one should do and what she thought the outcome should be that she was interjecting herself into their growth and development, into their learning, into their opportunity to potentially have an outcome that she can't even predict. So I encourage you to think about putting space between events that hook you and your reaction or response to those. And you can simply do that by taking a breath, identifying what are the facts, being really, really true to yourself in understanding if this is your issue and your concern, or if it's outside of what you are truly responsible for. Grace is in the space. I have learned that so many times, and believe me, I still practice it. I've been living by this mantra since 2010. I still have to practice it. I still have to be aware. So I encourage you to get that in your head. Grace is in the space. It's going to save you a lot of drama, a lot of chaos, a lot of stress, and really, frankly, a lot of patching back relationships and connections that are important to you when you overstep your bounds. So that's it for today. Hey, I hope you have a great day. I'd love for you to share this with others. I'd love for you to figure out how you can get connected with the Navigating Challenging Dialogue movement. So just go to navigatingchallengingdialogue.com, and I can't wait to hear how Grace is in the Space works for you. Bye.